Hello and welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. On Face to Face, we bring the big names to do the big interviews that would excite and entertain you and possibly open your eyes to things that you may not have thought of or have known about. Today we are focusing on the New Patriotic Party, well, the party that lost its regional chairman to the prisons yesterday, but the party that is preparing to reorganize itself, the party that has a number of people aspiring to lead it into this reorganization bid. My guest is one of the people who wants to lead the party out of opposition into government. How exactly does he intend to do that? I'll introduce him when I come back. Please stay with us. My guest on Face to Face is Paul Awentam Afoko, or Awentami Paul Afoko, as he would rather have the arrangement done. He once served as national chairman of the New Patriotic Party. I don't know what else he has done with his life before then, and I would also not be sure what he's been doing with his life since 2015 to 2026. But now he wants to be chairman again of the New Patriotic Party. Why the decision to return? What has he been doing the past 10 years? What was he doing before becoming regional chairman? Today, we'll enter the head of Paul Afoko. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm coping. I'm coping with the strains of campaigning.
I can imagine. I always, whenever I hear your name or think of you, I imagine how a towering figure you are, very huge. Is this like family traits? Are you all very big like this, huge?
We are tall, yes. But as for huge, I think it's from a different type of lifestyle.
Okay.
And I wish I could slim down and be like you.
I'm also developing a pot belly. I want to be like you. But you're very tall, like, yeah, dominatingly tall.
Yeah, you should see my sons. They are taller than me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
But it's within the family. If you've heard of the Ayeta family of Sandema, the royal family, you would have heard names like Azantilo. Mm-hmm. We are all very tall.
So you are from Sandema. Is that Bulsa North or South?
Bulsa North.
Bulsa North, Upper
Yes.
East region.
Upper
So you are a
East.
Bulsa.
Yes, I'm a Bulsa.
You are a Bulsa.
I'm a Bulsa because we are patrilineal, so
Okay.
I follow my dad.
Okay.
On my mother's side, I'm a Kasim, Nyavrongo.
Oh, so you have Kasim, half. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I wanted to know a bit about you. What did you study? In school, what did you do? You are a businessman, they say.
I studied a lot. I started, my education was actually stunted because I was, as a kid, my dad was a police officer.
Oh, you must have been roaming around Ghana.
Exactly.
Which regions do you remember going to?
With my memory, the first memories I have is here in Accra, but at that time I wasn't attending school. I was just about 3 or 4 years old.
So you're born in Accra?
No, I was born in Avongo.
Okay.
My mother always left because after my senior brother, who is late now, anytime my mother was pregnant and she was getting to childbirth, she would go back home to Navongo to help mother.
That's what they do in the culture, right?
Yeah, in the culture.
So like 3 months before delivery or a month before you go stay with your mother until the baby is older, you come back.
Then they come back.
Okay.
And so I was born in Avongo and brought back to Accra to be with my dad, who was a policeman. And
you moved around Ghana a lot?
A lot. We went to, so my earliest memories of school, I was in school in Tamale, in and out. So I went to how many schools in Tamale? I went to Our Lady of Fatima. I went to Baga Baga Primary. I went to Kalpohin Middle, and then off again. And went to Navrongo because my mom felt that living in Accra, and these are my own words,
was spoiling you.
Yeah.
So
you just done it.
She wanted to correct you.
I was going to say the way I phrase it is that she thought Accra is a den of iniquity, and she can allow her son,
to grow up
who
there.
was getting to a certain age, to continue here amongst the so-called Kobolo.
So you went secondary school where?
Boko.
Boko, okay.
I went to secondary school in Boko Secondary, much to my mother's disappointment, because she wanted me to go into the minor seminary.
Okay, oh.
Her intention was that I should be a Catholic priest.
A father?
Yes. She allocated our roles for us.
Oh.
My senior brother Martin, he was supposed to be the one who would inherit our dad. And me, she was giving me over to the church because she was such a devout Catholic. Oh. Although she came from a Muslim background.
Oh, wow. Also, you have, historically, you have a Muslim blood in you.
Oh, yes. I grew up with my grandmother in Avongo. And
She's Muslim?
Muslim, yes.
And your mother is Catholic?
My mother became Catholic because she went to St. Francis in Jirapa. And in those days, there were very few secondary schools around. So she went there, and it was a Catholic school. And the nuns did a good job on her.
They managed to get her
They
to...
did a good job on her.
So since she didn't become a sister, she thought the son should become a priest.
Yes.
Interesting, but you decided otherwise.
I didn't decide otherwise. Life happened.
Oh, wow. So you went to Boko Secondary. Is that where you learned your Hausa? You learned Hausa in Boko?
No, from the barracks.
Okay.
From the barracks.
You speak barracks Hausa?
Yes.
That sounds different from the other Hausa we speak.
I met a lady last week who had come for this ECOWAS conference on influence of money in politics. They had a long conference, a 3-day conference. I'm a Hausa woman, and I was speaking. I asked her, so can I change Hausa? She said, yes. I started speaking Hausa. She said, your Hausa is different.
She's from Nigeria?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And I told her, I said, of course.
They think the Ghana Hausa itself is bad.
It's bad.
And yours is like barracks one.
Barracks
is
one worse. So I said to her, I'm sorry, you...
And it is a Bulsa one too. That one is even...
you mean my accent?
No, the Hausa from... The Bulsa Hausa or the Kanjaga Hausa, as they call it sometimes. It's like a soldier man Hausa.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. So from secondary school, you went to... Where did you do university?
I did university outside.
Okay, so what did you study?
I did international relations. Oh. And then after that, I couldn't work with international relations in England. That was when I went into exile.
You went into exile?
Yeah.
From Ghana?
Yes.
Who were you running away from?
Rawlings.
Oh, you were one of those. Oh, but why were you doing party things when you were younger?
No. At that age, I just had this strong sense of hating injustice. That's as I saw it.
You thought the PNDC was perpetuating injustice?
No, initially, when Rawlings came up with the AFRC, I was one of those who thought if he is sticking by what he said, which is that, and I was a very young, impressionable student who had just done government.
Studied government?
Yes, studied government, so separation of powers, etc. And if he was coming in to say that this was a coup to end all coups, and that soldiers who had sworn on oath as officers to uphold the Constitution and protect the territorial integrity of our country, if they break that oath and go doing coups to overthrow governments, then he has come to end it all. And back in the day, I was, and I still am, I still think that Nkrumah is one of the best leaders we've ever had in this country.
That's interesting. And
Yes.
an MPP member or a UP tradition member
Yes.
who doesn't like or who didn't like the NDC Social Democratic but loves the CPP communist agenda. I don't get it.
No, you see,
Or socialist agenda.
As I said, I grew up as a very young man in the country that had Nkrumah running the country. So I was a young pioneer. Well, I started off as African personality and then to transition to become a young pioneer. Now, it's with hindsight that I look back and say he was one of the best leaders we ever had in terms of the development of our country.
What he left behind.
And in terms of his Pan-Africanist view and agenda. Yes, so there's no contradiction there for me.
Okay. So if you were a pioneer, what was the term?
Young pioneer.
Young
yes.
pioneer.
Yeah.
It means you would have been starkly opposed to the UP tradition. At what point did you decide that I'm going to join the UP tradition? It's not from your family, obviously.
No.
Your parents were not political. Your family is not a political family.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
From which side?
My father's side.
Was he UP or was
My
CPP?
father's direct senior brother was an MP for the NPP.
The Northern People's Party.
Party. Yes.
Which was part of the UP tradition.
Yes.
Okay.
The Northern People's Party obviously came together with other parties
Yes.
in the country to form the UP.
So
United Party.
you decided to go experiment with the CPP small and come back.
No, I didn't decide to experiment. Don't forget, in '66, I was in elementary school. I was in middle school. I was attending school at the time. I was in Navungo, staying with my grandmother, going to school. And so when the '66 coup happened, an elementary school boy, young, impressionable, I really knew nothing else. I only knew Nkrumah, CPP, and what our teachers were telling us. But at home, I had a contrary view.
So at what point did you become fully UP NPP?
It's difficult to pinpoint an exact time that this thing happened. But what I know is that when I then went on to sixth form and started to learn more about government and about our country and political history, I then realized that we had gone on a trajectory of a one-party state, and it had happened in such a way that expression had been stifled, freedom of expression had been stifled. But having said that, again, it's almost like I'm going around in circles. If you look at the pace of development in China, a one-party state, because in my lifetime, I remember almost every year when China suffered famine and they had to get food aid into China. I remember that clearly. And today China
It's advanced.
is the second biggest economy, if not on the verge of becoming the first.
With one party ruling
one party
and
state.
changing leaders every 10 years.
With one party state, and also although they do have internal opposition, but it's a one-party state. All our energies are channeled. And I read recently, I think the late Dr. Asante, he said, and that's why I say I keep going around in circles. He said that Nkrumah, when he was setting up the atomic energy project, he was looking for a Ghanaian who could head it. And the name that came up, and he was going to appoint the person, he was immediately confronted by his CPP people and told, no, that man belongs to the UP tradition. You can't have him. And they said Nkrumah agonized over it for a while and said, our country cannot afford to divide itself on these political lines. And so, obviously, I believe there were other reasons, some of them personal to him, that made him go down that trajectory of getting our country to become a one-party state.
So you mentioned that you went into exile. Is it that you did something against the Rawlings regime at the time that you were hounded out, or you saw that people were running away, you said, I should also run away? So.
No. What happened was there was a demonstration organized by the PNP members Hillary Man's party. And at that time, in Bolga, and at that time, I joined the demonstration. And I headed for the radio station in Bolga. The station they have today had just newly been built with World Bank support to help in agricultural extension work and all that. And so it was a station that had a big reach. We only had one region at the time.
Upper region.
Upper region. So it extended from the upper region into the northern region, even to places like Wali Wali, and it went into then Upper Volta, up to Po. So it had a big reach. And I went to the station with a few guys, and I said to the guys running the station, I said, listen, we are here with a message, and I would want to be given the opportunity to speak. And they were protesting, you can't do that, this. And I asked them whether the man who is making those announcements in Accra has got the right to do that, or you want us to forcibly make you give me that opportunity to speak. And they said, okay, come on, speak. So I just spoke. I said I was opposed to what Rawlings was doing. He had executed quite a few people, soldiers. He went back to the 1966 school and brought people like Afrifa, who was now in retirement but had gone into party politics, brought him to Teshi, the firing range, and executed him. Executed General Champong, whom I think is one of the best heads of state we've ever had.
With hindsight?
Well, with hindsight, yes. Because when you are living it,
you may not see it.
You don't see it. And then he executed lots more. Feli, Amedume, Boachi, all of them, he executed them on that basis. So I said, if you can do that, and then you hand over power to a civilian government,
then you come back.
And you come back and overthrow that government, then you, as also an officer who swore this oath.
So I get the sense that you were happy with the AFRC coup, but not happy with the PNDC coup of 31st December.
You see, I was happy with that coup to the extent that executions had not taken place. But once the execution started, some of it came close to home. Don't forget, as I said, my mother comes from Navungo. I grew up in Navungo. I speak the language perfectly. And I went to school. Yeah, I speak Kasem very well. And I went to school in Navungo, elementary school and all that. And I knew that family. I knew the Feli family. And so when it came close to home, then it wasn't.
So it was personal and political for you.
Personal, but
but what was the final thing that made you escape or run away?
Well,
did they come for you?
Yeah, they came for me. They came for me, and I was fortunate. I'd been warned that a military detachment was coming from Tamale to come and get me, so I escaped.
Otilo. So did you enter Burkina Faso?
Yes, that was Upper Volta then.
Yes.
That was before Thomas Sankara.
Oh, before Thomas? Oh,
yes.
Oh, okay, that great visionary
the
as well.
person I personally knew.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, I interacted with him. We knew each other. I used to call him Thomas.
So you escaped through Ouagadougou and you were gone?
No, I didn't go to Ouagadougou actually. It was on the back of a motorbike, took me across. You know the colonial boundaries.
Yeah.
They just split tribes.
Yeah, by the same people.
So I speak the same language here. I cross an invisible line and I'm speaking the same language and I blend.
And you're gone.
So I was taken on the back of a motorbike to the border, walked across, and I was gone.
Wow.
Then I was there when my father sent for me and said, look, one Akatapuri, who later became...
that name from the NRC?
Yes, Daniel Akatapuri, who later became a friend, that he had come to Bolga. He was a member of the PNDC at the time. And he said, look, he didn't see why I should go sit in exile. I should come back home. So my dad told me to come back. I came back. There was curfew in Ghana those days. I went indoors quietly, but at dawn, the house had been surrounded by soldiers. They came and picked me up, wow, straight into detention. And then they brought me to Accra and detained me here as well. And it was the jailbreak, June 19th, 1983, when Ali Dujiwa, Carlos, you know, they came to try to overthrow the government. Mm-hmm. And they had a lot of friends who were soldiers who were also incarcerated in the prison. And so they needed their friends to bear arms with them. So they would have the numbers to overthrow the government. And they broke the jail.
And you followed?
I had to run away. I don't know how to hold a gun. But I wouldn't also sit in there and wait for them to come back. You don't know the kind of retribution, yeah, even though they sitting in prison is not...
so it was a chance for you to escape again?
I ran away.
And that one you left Ghana?
Oh yes, that one I left Ghana. And I left Ghana through Kotoka Airport.
Oh, you flew?
Yeah. I had friends, wow, who helped me.
Wow.
Came to where I was hiding, took passport pictures, went and made a passport for me. Friends, those days I had a friend a junior from secondary school, who was the country manager for Nigerian Airways. So he actually took me from the Nigerian Airways office, which was airside, mm-hmm, onto the plane.
You're gone.
Yes.
The story of Paul Afoko, history that we just did, a brief one, where he's telling me about, growing up, childhood, and his involvement with politics, and he having to escape and go into exile. When we come back, he returned from exile. He's a businessman. He joined the NPP. He's been active until 2015. He was, elected chairman 2014. And then in 2015, he was removed. Now he wants to go back to being that chairman again. I'll ask him why the return and more. Please stay.
From across Ghana to the heart of Tamale, the very best of made in Ghana products, services, innovation, education, enterprise, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate organizations are all coming together at one exciting event. The Northern Business Fair 2026, your one-stop destination to discover, shop, connect, network, and explore new business opportunities in Northern Ghana. Whether you are an entrepreneur, investor, student, business owner, or consumer, this is where Ghanaian excellence meets opportunity. Join us on Saturday 25th and Sunday 26th July 2026 at Jubilee Park Tamale from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Are you ready to showcase your business to the nation and beyond? Call 0205-973-973 now and secure your spot. The Northern Business Fair 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from City FM, and it's proudly sponsored by EcoBank, the National Petroleum Authority, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, North Shore Apparel Ghana Limited, and SIC Insurance PLC. The Northern Business Fair 2026, your market, your connections, your growth.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. My guest is Paul Afoko, former chairman of the New Patriotic Party, aspiring to be chairman once again. Yesterday, the court handed down a verdict on your original chairman for Ashanti, Chairman Wontemi. From where you sat and followed proceedings, what was the feeling like in relation to his incarceration? 20 years. Some said justice has been served. Your party people are saying he was a political prisoner.
In fact, just before we went on the break, we were talking about my prison experience.
Yes.
So when I first heard it, I was on my way from Kumasi coming to Accra, and I thought, my heart went out to him, because I know what prison is like in Ghana. It's not like Sweden, where you have a whole suite to yourself and your private toilet and TV and all that. I know how it is. My heart went out to him and I thought, gosh, this is too much. 20 years. But then as I started, because I never really followed the case, as I started to ask questions, I was actually told that before the change in the law by the NPP government, the maximum sentence would have been somewhere around 3 to 5 years.
5 years.
And that we had changed it to a minimum of 15 and a maximum of 25.
Yeah.
And so apparently the judge came in between and gave 20. I said to myself, even the minimum of 15 would also have been too much. Having said that, I heard my party subsequently saying that Wontumi should be seen as a political prisoner. I am yet to talk to the party. And of course, the one who announced it, the General Secretary, is a lawyer. And we've got a lot of the fine brains, legal brains, in the party. And so if they feel or think that based on what they have before them, Wontumi should be considered a political prisoner, I cannot contradict them without first learning more. I saw myself as a political prisoner in those days. Yeah. I was picked up from home, no trial, straight to jail. I would need to be educated. I would need to be enlightened, rather. So I would rather not make any further comments.
Very well.
Not until I have had the opportunity to speak to people like members of our legal committee within the party, people like the General Secretary, and to hear more.
That's fair enough. But talking about Sawam, where he's been sent to, your brother was there. How is Gregory doing?
Oh, Greg is okay. He's back home down in Sandema. The good news is that he just got married, I think, 2 months ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, his wife, who he was with before he went to prison, didn't wait for him.
Oh.
But he's gotten somebody else. His son is now in law school at Gimpa.
Okay.
And he's gradually putting his life back together.
Yeah,
so he also spent a long time in Nsawam.
Yeah, except that his period in Nsawam may not have necessarily been because a court found him guilty and sentenced him.
No, that's the difference.
Yeah. How did the family take that? They considering that it was your party that was in government and your brother was sent, and there were a lot of human rights lawyers who said that was against the law.
Yes, initially at the time when it happened, I was still chairman of the party. And because of the events leading to that in Bolga, I was clear that if Greg had done this, then they can send him to the gallows. I don't care, because you don't take a human life for any reason. Then, when I got the opportunity to speak to him, and I said, Greg, just as a brother, tell me, what happened? Why did you do this? And then he said to me, Senior, you know I've been to jail before for other things. And I didn't give a damn being in jail because I knew what I'd done. But this one, to be in prison for something I haven't done, it hurts. Those were his words to me. And immediately I was convinced, looking into his eyes.
You believed him?
I believed him. I believed him clearly, and it's been vindicated.
Did you think they went for Greg to punish Paul?
At the time, yes.
That's what you think?
At the time, yes, I believed that.
And this was a system doing this?
Yes.
to hurt you or to get to you?
Well, to hurt me, because ultimately the petition that went to the party for my removal actually cited that I would, because don't forget he was first arrested when NPP was still in opposition.
Yeah.
And that his arrest, I would be selling the NPP's secrets to the NDC in order to obtain my brother's freedom. Therefore, I had to be removed. I challenged it. I even told them that even if my brother was proven to be guilty, guilt is not transferable. You can't transfer my brother's guilt onto me.
Yeah.
But the mood at the time was such that nobody was ready to countenance any other view other than Afoko must go.
I remember those days. Your party headquarters was a very turbulent place.
Yeah.
I remember Hajia Fati, that was her name.
Yes.
I remember the insults that were held against your person.
Yes.
I remember the protests demanding that you leave. How did you feel? And at the time, what was going through your mind? That you had gone and was elected by the party base in Tamale, right?
Yes.
And now the party is removing you. How did you feel going through those days?
You see, even though I was upset to the point where I was angry, beyond upset, I was angry that this was happening. Because I believed that I was serving the party wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. I didn't harbor any, for example, we had a meeting and we're in conversation, and I just asked the people, senior members of the party, I said, ask yourselves, who benefits from this turbulence in the party? It's not the party. And also ask yourselves, do you think that given the opportunity to sit around the cabinet table, because I think Kufuor said the example,
being better,
chairman and general secretary sit in cabinet, given the opportunity to sit around that cabinet table and to make decisions and to then delve into my brother's case properly, would I pass that and rather go and be under the cabinet table of the NDC waiting for them to drop crumbs at me under the table, and at the same time to be pleading with them for my brother, whom I believe is innocent? I would rather stay and fight and get us into power and then look at my brother's case again. But since they were convinced that it was my brother who did it and that it was at my behest or on my behalf, nobody would listen.
Your supporters at the time said the main person who wanted you out and who succeeded in getting you out was your candidate, flag bearer at the time, now former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Do you believe them? Did you agree that Akufo-Addo personally wanted you out?
You see, I am now on a certain mission here. And that mission is to put this party back together. I don't want to live in the past. And I don't want to build my bridges into the past, but then I'll remain in the past.
Yeah.
I want to go looking forward, build bridges to the future, open up our party to the younger ones to come and continue.
What's your relationship with Akufo-Addo now?
It's cordial.
It's cordial.
It's cordial. Look, I said this the other day to somebody about Rawlings, who jailed me. He and I became close. Invited me over to his place in Vume.
Tefle.
Yes, yes. And I went there, and just the two of us, with lots of dogs. He has lots. I couldn't count them. And we sat down and we had a frank conversation, walked along the rivers, where sandy beach, like a beach from the seafront. And we had conversations. And I actually reminded him. And I said, Mr. President, do you remember me? And he said, oh yes, Afoko, you're Akufo's friend. I said, no, do you remember me? And then I reminded him. I said, there was one night during curfew time, I was brought from prison to the castle. And I was with the late Captain Kojo Chikata and RSM Tufero. When you walked in and you were talking about some people who were trying to burn a bridge, and you had caught them and they were in the guard room. He said, yes, I remember that night. I said, I was the person. And you asked me, when they told you who I was, you said, oh yes, I like courageous young men like you. Look, we are sending some people over to Cuba for training, and I would like you to go with them. And I said, no, I don't think I want to do that. That was the first time I found out that Captain Kojo Chikata spoke Hausa. He just said,
to wait, say that you would go home and think about it, don't just say no.
Yeah, but I had come from prison, not so going home, you know.
Yeah.
And so he said, oh yes, yes, yes. And he shook my hand again. And I said, but I must tell you something. I've never blamed you. I have blamed the things that you did, but not you as a person. And some of the things were done in your name, even without your knowledge. I remember Tamale Achao in the north, a pharmacist. They poured petrol on him and torched him, matches. And he managed to save himself. He's dead now. And all those thoughts came, and I told him, I said, things were done in your name. So please.
Is that the same thing? Is that the same way you intend to deal with Akufo-Addo or plan to deal with Akufo-Addo's situation with you?
It's my nature. I don't harbor things.
So you're forgiven. You let go.
Oh, long gone.
And let
long
go.
gone. The space in my head. My friends know what I'm just about to tell you. The space in my head is not for rent to negativity. There's not enough space. I don't rent it out to negative things. I want it to be kept for positive things.
If the system hounded you out as chairman at the time, you would have been expected to be pissing in and borrowing Rawlings' terms. But
from outside the tent.
Yeah, but you went quiet, just away for 10 years. What have you been doing the past 10 years after you were removed?
Well, I tried to get myself busy with things, everyday things. My business had obviously suffered a lot. And I went into farming, been involved with the hospitality industry.
Explain to me, since you mentioned hospitality industry, what's your connection with the Kempensi Hotel? People used to say it's your hotel. Is this for you?
I have an interest.
Okay.
I can't own it outright, but I have an interest.
I mean, if you own that big thing, I would be looking at how much money you have. So
no, I don't own it.
Okay.
I have an interest there,
okay.
And
okay.
That I'm not going to run away from it. I do have.
They said you used your connections with Kufuor at the time who was president to do that.
No,
that's not truth.
Interesting. If you look at the structure, we built it on loans. A little bit of equity from the four partners.
Okay.
A little bit of equity, but most of it was loans from the African Development Bank, from EcoBank. That's how we did it.
So you've been busy with business, and you didn't miss politics during that period, did you?
I did, but to the extent that I just had to exercise a lot of control not to speak, because there were things happening that I would have wished.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. The early days of the Akufo-Addo government, I was called on air and I was asked a question. 100 days of the Akufo-Addo government.
Assessment.
He has failed, hasn't he? I said, why? He said, Because all the things he said he was going to do, he hasn't done them. He has failed. And I said, no, you are judging him too harshly. Let me tell you something. The ship of state is like a super tanker. It's not like a sports car that can just do a U-turn. Before it turns, it goes down a wide berth before it will turn. So 100 days is not enough. 3 months and 10 days is not enough for him to even put his whole government in place. At least credit him for what he has done at the top, because the whole government will include going down to district assemblies, DCEs, MMDCs, all of them, even down to presiding officers and others. They are all part of government.
After 8 years, would it be fair now to assess him? And would you, if that radio station called you, what would you say? In one line, how would you explain Akufo-Addo's 8 years?
It would be difficult for me to express myself now in one line. That would be very difficult. But Daddy Lumba, who I love, always loved him way back when I was still in England in exile. He had a one line. And I'm not an account speaker.
Okay. Me neither, but try. We'll work it out.
Bema Beyebi. That's it.
So he has done his part, you reckon?
Yes.
Moving forward, you intend to come back and run for chairman. I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I'll ask you why you want to return and not just retire. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu with Paul Afoko.
This August, the journey begins again on Channel 1 TV. Relive the unforgettable moments from the 10th edition of the Heritage Caravan 2026 as we take you on an extraordinary adventure across 14 breathtaking regions of Ghana in 8 magical days. From the rich culture and history to the stunning landscapes, mouth-watering cuisine, and unforgettable experiences. Every episode celebrates the beauty and diversity of Ghana.
So from Asante State to line, maternally, are the rulers of the Asante Kingdom since 1690.
Don't miss the sights, the stories, the people, and the memories.
Basfa is now known as Awa International. Don't bend so Marvin, now to the champion. Don't bend so Marvin, now to the champion. What's up? What's your tiny boo? What's up? What's your tiny boo? Wait now, you'll be there. What's up, Bobby boo? What's up? What's your tiny boo? What's up? What's your tiny boo? Wait now, you'll be there. Baby, your bow, money coming, son of a
Tune in this August on Channel 1 TV, and once again, let's experience Ghana like never before.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu here with Paul Afoko. Mr. Paul Afoko, why don't you retire? Why are you returning to be chairman of the NPP?
Today, as you ask this question, I say to myself, after what I'm going through in terms of campaigning, even this morning, I lay in bed and said, why am I doing this? But then the reality of where the party is today is why I'm doing it. Because I'm sure you know, because you're an astute political watcher, and also your viewers and listeners will also see what I am seeing, that before I was suspended, I had organized the party for the elections. Everything had been done, bar the shouting. Everything had been done. Parliamentary candidates, everybody was in place. those who lost, and there were over 30 sitting MPs who lost their primaries. Some of them were my very close friends. They accepted the results, and they were ready to fight for the party. And then we got our presidential candidate in, and everything was done. All those who contested him accepted the results. And we went on to win. At that time, people said it was unprecedented. We got 169 seats.
Yeah.
And then we go into power. Without me, though.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on the sidelines watching and thinking, well, this is going to work. We will fight corruption. People like Martin Amidu were brought in, special prosecutor. And that the country's development was going to leapfrog, building on what had passed, preceded. Then we go to the next elections with all the largesse of power at our disposal. And we drop sharply from 169 to 137. And even we had within the party dissent. There were those who just sat back and said, okay, we are not interested. There were those who said, we've been cheated. Even in the organization of parliamentary primaries, to the point where we even lost, we had one member who actually went against the party and went independent.
And came to save you in
To
Parliament.
save our goat in Parliament. Because we and the NPP, NDC were 137 each.
Neck and neck.
Neck and neck. We would have, if he had chosen to caucus with the NDC,
You'll be minority in government.
we would have the executive power, but how can we get our bills passed in
They
Parliament?
didn't have a speaker too.
Oh, exactly, and we didn't have the speaker too. And this was the result of, I would say, not managing and organizing things well. Because Formina shouldn't have gone independent if we had followed the dictates, the wishes of the people, the dictates of power and the wishes of the people. He would have stayed on.
He was hounded out of the party
Absolutely.
just before elections.
Absolutely. And even we went to the constituency
Told people not to go for
to
him.
campaign against him.
Sacked him from Parliament.
So, yes. So for me, when that happened, I started feeling some misgivings. Then I thought, well, we will weather this storm.
You get better.
By then, my anger at having been suspended had all gone anyway. By then it was gone. And somebody once asked me, how do you know it's gone? I said, because these days when I go on air, I go on TV and I see the faces of the people I thought masterminded what happened. I don't change channels anymore. I'm able to listen to them. Not just hear them, listen. And try to work out what they are saying, and is it good for the party, is it good for the country? And so the anger was gone. And then the next election, it was a further decline, steep one,
Worse than
88. And then we had this other seat that came up, and we've gone down to 87. At that point, I asked myself, are we going to end up like the CPP? Nkrumah goes, but
Party
obviously that was a coup d'etat, and then that tradition was banned. But are we going down that route? How do we climb out of this? And as I sat down and I was analyzing it and discussing with friends, we came to the one conclusion that the one thing that can save us now is to unite the party. Factions, even in the one-party state, there are factions. I've mentioned this before, but even in China. But those factions still work within a certain structure. They know they cannot break that structure just because they disagree with each other internally. Back home in the north, they tell us that your teeth and your mouth occupy the same house. And your teeth and your tongue occupy the same house.
They fight.
But once in a while, the teeth will get the tongue, and sometimes it will bleed.
Yeah.
You don't take a stone and knock out your teeth.
No.
You don't. And just this sort of thinking, we said, no. Factionalism must go. We have to unite this party. Everybody must come back together.
And therefore, who is a unifier?
I thought I'd do that because I symbolize the worst parts of factionalism. Because I was told, so basically, if I want us to work together, I was told that and I still won and became chairman. And then I was removed. So I think that we should get back together.
So you are the victim that will return to fix the problem?
Yes, I think so, but I cannot do it alone. The party must.
Do you think the party would listen to you this time around? Again, like they did in Tamale?
Is there a choice? Do we have an option as a party?
There are like 4 or 5 choices.
Even if the others, although I believe I have the
better qualities.
The better qualities, well put, to unite the party. Even if any one of the others does, unity is not negotiable.
Do they remember you, the delegates? It's been years.
It's been 11 years since I was thrown out.
Would they remember you?
That's why I've been unrelenting in going around the country.
So you've been actively campaigning?
I've been around the country.
How is the reception of your message like?
It was good. It was good.
So you are using the unifier message?
I did, yes, but I didn't go out there campaigning. I went to reintroduce myself. And the good thing is that because of the model I used, I went talking to every region. I talked to the leadership of the region. Regional executives who I knew were going in for re-election, council of elders and patrons, and some of them remembered me. And some of them said, oh, I was a youth organizer when you were chairman. I was so-and-so, I was a deputy secretary. And so they remembered. And then I tried to let them understand that in places that we lost, which we shouldn't lose, like I always cite Yendi. Yendi is the Bantama of the North. Mm-hmm. We lost it. And we lost Yendi not because of
the traditional capital of the North.
Yes, traditional capital of Dagbon.
Of Dagbon.
But also in NPP politics, our stronghold. We lost it because of disunity.
You think you shouldn't have?
We shouldn't have disunity. If they were united in the constituency, we wouldn't have lost that seat.
I'm giving you a minute. Look into the camera and talk to NPP delegates why they should go for Afoko when they get to the polls in September, I think.
Look into your face and tell you. Is that what you're saying?
I want you to look at this camera.
Oh, this one?
Yes, and that's where the delegates are watching you from. Speak to the delegates of the NPP.
Well, you all know where we are today. Our party is in a bad shape. We have lost so much ground. The hole in which we are is deep. We need to come out of it. Let's unite. Don't hold any feelings against each other. Emotions, when you bring emotions into power, you lose power. We have to put our emotions aside and work with our heads. We must be strategic. I did it before. 2014, we were in opposition. I came around the country and I told all of you that I had a plan. And at that time, the plan was called NPP, New Plan for Power. I said, let's implement this plan and we will come out of opposition into power. We did. We didn't implement it fully. We've ended up in opposition again, and this time in a worse state. Because at that time we had over 120 seats. Now we have 87. I'm appealing to all of you. Think about the party think about going forward to win power together. Don't look at your neighbor and say, they were chopping and I didn't get some. They can't vomit for you to come and eat the vomit. Let's work together. Let's unite. Let's go forward in the name of our party to win power. I offer myself to you as an example. In all the time that the party was in power, I never got an appointment. I never got a contract. I keep telling everybody, I never even got a gutter to clean. But that doesn't hold me back. The party is bigger than all of us. Let's hold to our abiding principles, the principles that have glued us together all these years. Join me, and I mean it, join me. Give me the mandate and also work, because I can't do it alone. Okay. You will need to work for us to bring our party together, to bring our party out of that hole and to win power in the next general elections. I thank you all.
Thank you so much. What does Awentami mean?
God is my guardian.
I wish you the best of guidance from God.
Thank you, Umar. Thank you, Umar.
Thank you so much. So that's Paul Afoko, or Awentami Paul Afoko, former chairman of NPP, hoping to become chairman of the party in September. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. This has been Face to Face. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week with more. Please stay with us.